Here's Prescott. Just throws it deep as far as his arm can take him. He caught it! Micah Parsons on the move. Micah Parsons is in! Welcome to the big show, Tony Pollard. Oh, going deep. It is intercepted.
But I'm not going to say a word, but I will say one thing right now.
Prescott, touchdown. Good protection, and the pass wide open. Touchdown, Lamb.
Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. It's Space Cowboy here with another video for you guys here today. And we have to talk about the ongoing dilemma at tight end 3. I think that a lot of people believe that the Cowboys are set at tight end with Ferguson, Schoonmaker, and Hendershot, those being the 3 guys. But there's one newcomer that's been making a huge name for himself in training camp and in the preseason where maybe, just maybe, he pushes Peyton Hendershot off the 53. Now, before we get any further into this video and discuss that, if you guys would do me a favor, please hit the like button. That'd be greatly appreciated. Helps support the channel, and it fights against the YouTube algorithm, so please make sure to do so, because we're getting back into the swing of things, and the algorithm's been a pain in the neck. And also, subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell so you stick around for more Cowboys content as it comes out. Now, we do have a preseason game tonight as of this video coming out against the Seattle Seahawks, so we're going to see a little bit more film, a little bit more to kind of base our judgments off of to say, okay, is this video going to age like milk? Is it going to age like fine wine, or does it really matter? Who knows? But getting back to the point at hand, we do know that when the Cowboys were trying to get this tight end room set up at the start of last year, you had a guy in Dalton Schultz that was on the franchise tag. And during that period of time from when the franchise tag was first placed on Dalton Schultz and all the way till July, no deal was done. But in the draft, you go get Jake Ferguson in the 4th round, presumably to be the replacement to Dalton Schultz. Because a lot of people forget Dalton Schultz was a 4th round tight end when he was drafted. And then you go out into the undrafted free agency pool and you manage to find Peyton Hendershot, who impressed during training camp, during the preseason, enough so to make the 53-man roster. So then you go through that 2022 season. Dalton Schultz has his moments. And then you look at Ferguson and you look at Hendershot and you say, maybe this is our tight end duo for the next couple of years. Like how, you know, we thought that Dalton Schultz and Blake Jarwin were supposed to be. Right? You guys remember that? But what's very key in all of this is that Ferguson had his fair share of moments in the limited reps he received. As for Hendershot, he was pretty inconsistent, but towards the tail end of the season, he was kind of cleaning that up, but he wasn't given a whole lot of reps, so we couldn't really find out where he was in a whole grand scheme of things. So then the season ends. Dalton Schultz goes off to Houston, and now you're stuck with Ferguson and Hendershot. And I'm not trying to mean that in a negative connotation, but you don't know what you have. I talked about it during the offseason. I said the Cowboys should draft a tight end if we're being honest, because you don't know what Ferguson can be, you don't know what Hendershot can be, and you want to make sure you CYA. You cover your ass. And so the Cowboys do just that in a shocking turn of events. They draft Luke Schoonmaker, a guy we thought the Cowboys had interest in about a round early, but they took him nonetheless in the 2nd round. And so people were like, okay, well, what does this mean? Now you add Luke Schoonmaker there, who's going to be there for at least 4 seasons. And, you know, it looks like they got him to kind of do everything, be a run blocker, do this, do that, has the measurables that the Cowboys like. But it feels like something's up here. So we go through the motions of training camp and to the first preseason game. And with that in mind, Jake Ferguson showed glimpses of, oh, this guy looks to be tight end 1. Luke Schoonmaker's trying to work his way back from plantar fasciitis. And then with Peyton Hendershot, I don't really hear a lot about him. Just calling it how I see it, you know. We haven't heard of if he's doing well, if he's not doing well. But then all of a sudden, you have this guy in John Stevens Jr., another undrafted free agent out of the University of Louisiana, just come out of nowhere and just really make a name for himself through the training camp. And then you look at the first preseason game, I mean, he looked really damn good. Oh, Space, it's just preseason, this, that, and a third. You do remember that Peyton Hendershot also impressed during preseason as well. But I think what makes John Stevens Jr. an interesting case and why I think he could push Peyton Hendershot off the team, it's because of the fact that John Stevens Jr. can bring a certain element to this tight end room that I think that Peyton Hendershot might not be able to do. And what do I mean by that? Well, when you look at how John Stevens Jr. was playing tight end during the preseason game versus Jacksonville, and then you just look at what he did in college, he very much so plays like a receiver, which I've been looking for a type of build of tight end to play in Dallas for quite some time. And, you know, the Cowboys love their types of tight ends, which we all know who they're supposed to resemble. Jason Witten. But I think that that's something that we want to see is we don't want to see like every single tight end play and be the same. I think you need to have other options. And I think that when you look at the group that you have assembled so far, Jake Ferguson, he's tight end 1. Luke Schoonmaker is going to be tight end 2. And, you know, hey, Luke Schoonmaker is probably going to be primarily for run blocking and certain packages. Jake Ferguson's going to be that, you know, Dalton Schultz-esque guy, maybe even a little better. But then after that, you know, Peyton Hendershot, did he reach his ceiling? Is he going to get any better? And I don't have enough information to indicate that. But also, you might be saying, oh, you're just drawing straws. It's just tight end 3. What's the big deal? I think what's really key about this is that you want to have all your options open. I think that when you look at how John Stevens Jr. has been performing, and if he continues his high level of play, the Cowboys really need to have a serious conversation of, okay, can we see Peyton Hendershot getting kicked off the roster? I don't think he's as safe as people think. I've had conversations with individuals, and they say that Peyton Hendershot, you know, the reason for the Luke Schoonmaker pick was primarily because they didn't know what Hendershot can be. And I think that if things still hold true and John Stevens Jr. continues his high-level play, you might have to make a tough decision. And I think that as of right now, I think that John Stevens Jr. has done a fantastic job to make a case. If he does even better or just as good in this next game, it's going to be really hard for the Cowboys to be like, yeah, you know, we're good. But knowing them, they'll probably do that. Because I don't know if this guy can make it to your practice squad. Who knows? What do you guys think? Do you think that John Stevens Jr. has done enough to kick Peyton Hendershot off the roster, or is this just a nothing burger and, hey, you know what, you know, John Stevens Jr. can do as good as he can and he's not going to make the team? Please tell me down below in the comment section below. I'm very curious to hear what you guys have to say. Before you do that, please hit the like button, fight against the YouTube algorithm for me. Subscribe if you're new, hit that notification bell, and I'll catch you guys after this preseason game versus the Seahawks. And hopefully we get some more film, some more information about how we're feeling about this team. And we get very much so closer to the start of the regular season. And also figuring out who's going to make this 53-man roster. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a good one, guys.